Glock 20 10mm, another in the 10mm series here on Riders Range. We shot it, we're going to talk about it. Stick around. Alright, another 10mm I borrowed from my friend Jim Huff. We've already reported on several other 10mm that he loaned us. Springfield TRP, XDM, and also the Glock 40. And since then I've purchased another one, actually my first 10mm on my own at Kimber Camp Guard. That's coming up. But this one's all about the Glock 20 Gen 4 10mm. You know, so much has already been said about Glock pistols. Everybody knows pretty much all the specs and the differences and the similarities and all the good things about Glock. So I'm not going to go over all the little details. We will go over some on this Glock 20. It is a large gun. It does compare somewhat to the Glock 17 size-wise. If you look at the overall length and the heights of the gun, they're pretty much the same. Where the difference is, of course, is going to be in the width. The Glock 20 is about 1/8 of an inch wider in the slide than the Glock 17. Actually compares more to the Glock 30 45 caliber gun. Even though this is an SF, the slide and everything is still going to be about the same width, about 1 1/8 inches wide at the slide. So again, it's a big gun. The grip distance, though, from the back of the back of the frame to the trigger is within a couple hundredths of an inch between the 17 and the 20. So that's not a big deal. But the grip is just a little bit bigger around. Again, this is Gen 4. It's got a rail. It's got typical Glock texturing on it. Typical Glock everything. I mean, it's a Glock, so what do you expect? And, of course, typical Glock sights, which I absolutely detest. But in general, they worked out pretty good for us. I'll roll some footage in here shortly. We shot this on plates at 12, 25, and 50 yards. For some reason, I struggled a little bit on getting the 6-inch center plate back on the torso at 25 yards, but I managed to hit the 6-inch plate at 50 yards, so go figure. I'm going to blame some of that on Glock sights. Now, I carried a Glock on duty for the last 24 years of my law enforcement career, and don't have any problem at all with Glocks. I'm still a 1911 fan, but I'm okay with Glock pistols. They do seem to work. So some basics on this. Let's see if I can. Empty weight on this one is 27.8 ounces. Does hold 15 rounds in the magazine, so you add 15 rounds, 180 grain ammunition, and one more bullet. You come up with 40.3 ounces as a loaded weight. Not a light gun, but it is about 10 ounces lighter than my Kimber Camp Guard. And of course, the Kimber only holds half as much ammunition. So again, not a real light gun. Size-wise, not that much different than the typical Glock 17. Trigger on this, now Glock says this has about a 5.5 pound trigger. I measure this at a really consistent 4 pounds. Actually, the average on 5 pulls comes out to 3 pounds 14 ounces, so just under 4 pounds. And your typical, by the way, this is unloaded, no magazine, nothing in it. So your typical Glock trigger with the drop safety on it. Typical mush, typical Glock reset, but yeah, not an objectionable trigger. Again, I carried one for a long time, so I'm used to it. It does come with 3 magazines, and again, they're 15-round magazines. You listening, Kimber? It comes with 3 magazines. It comes with a couple other things here in the box too. Let's see what else it has. Comes with different back straps, and again, all the usual paraphernalia, plus a cleaning brush. Always a nice touch to get an extra one of those. 3 magazines and a basic speed loader type. And that does come in handy because getting the last couple of rounds in those 15-round magazines is a little bit challenging. So let's take it out to the range and let's see how it works at on the plates. Again, 12, 25, and 50. We're using a couple of different types of ammunition, mainly federal 180 grain, but we also use some PPU defensive rounds, 180 grain, and it does seem to work. So we'll roll in the footage here and look at some range work. Glock 20 using Jim's hand loads here at 12 yards. Let's give it a try. I'd say that works pretty good at 12, and it drops the brass pretty much right at my feet. Glock 20 using Herder's 180 grain solid flat nose ammunition, and we'll try this at 25 yards. 12 inch on the left. 8 inch next to it. Center of the arm slope. Can I get it back? Alright, can I get it back? Oh, come on. That's good in the front sight. Oh. Alright. Let's try some PPU defense line 180 grain. See if I can get that center back. So where it's hitting from here. Should be right on. Finally. 8 inch, white with a green center, far right. 6 inch, white one. Alright. Silver silhouette, red center. Alright. Let's load up again and go out to 50. Alright, we're going to try some PMC 200 grain full metal jacket out of this Glock 20 at 50 yards. Let's just see if it'll hit something out there. The gun will. Can I? Start with the green 16 inch white center. 12 inch white with orange right below it. 10 inch white black center, high left. Well, right again. There we go. 8 inch white with red center below that. Can I get the 10 inch way over there, or excuse me, the 6 inch way over there on the left? Oh. Okay, looks like this Glock is right on. What do we have left? One round. Alright, let's, we have done the silhouette. The one on the bottom there, the orangish red with a white center. Alright, Glock 20. One thing I found interesting on the on this Glock is we did some chronograph tests and also looking at different recoil and so forth. I'll see if I can maybe roll a couple of shots of the recoil difference in here between this and a camp guard. But the chronograph testing with the Glock 20, which has just over a 4.5 inch barrel, it's 4.61 inches, I believe. Using PPU 180 grain defensive type ammunition, comes out to an average of 959.6 feet per second, whereas the Kimber Camp Guard, of course, is a 5 inch barrel. That came out to 1,016.6 average over 5 shots. So again, it's about a 6% difference, but not unexpected considering a slightly different barrel length. What surprised me though was the extreme spread of the 5 shots out of the Kimber was only 15 feet per second, yet the extreme spread, this is same temperature conditions, same humidity conditions, these guns were shot back to back. The extreme spread on the Glock was 79.7 feet per second difference. So extreme spread can be accounted for in a couple of different ways. Some of that is actually in recoil management. Now this is all shot standing without support, so the Kimber being about 10 ounces heavier than the Glock, I might have been hanging onto that gun just a little bit tighter. Although I wouldn't think so. I usually grip guns about the same all the way around. Could have something to do with the circumference of the grip. There are many factors. Recoil management could be one of them. So don't know what the deal is on that. All right, Glock 20. another 10 millimeter. I read that this is one of the most popular guns for Alaskan guides. I'm not convinced that that's necessarily the case, but a good 10 millimeter certainly is something that I know is popular for backcountry guides where you may encounter bears, mountain lions, whatever. Would I hesitate to carry it? Absolutely not. It works well. 10 millimeter is a good cartridge for that. I certainly would get rid of those atrocious Glock sights and put something on that's a little bit better. But certainly 16 rounds of 10 millimeter in a controllable package is very decent for backcountry. All right, so that's just a quick look at the Glock 20 10 millimeter out here. Again, thanks to my friend Jim Huff for loaning me 4 different 10 millimeters to test out and finally got me hooked on buying my first 10. If you like this video, we certainly do appreciate a thumbs up. Whether or not you like a Glock, if you like the production of the video, the thumbs up is certainly appreciated. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Click on the notifications bell so you know what's coming up in the future on Riders Range. We will have the Kimber Camp Guard coming up, at least the first shots in that not too distant future. Comments on this video down below are highly appreciated. Comments on anything else to info@ridersrange.com. Let us know if there's anything that you'd like to see. We'll see if we can get hold of it. So again, that's just a relatively quick look at the Glock 20 10 millimeter here on Riders Range. Thanks a lot for dropping in.